Hi everybody, it's Lynn with Crafting Break, and I always say I am here. Let's try something different. Here I go. Night 3, day 3 of my Christmas craft along with these easy cards and easy tags, which will be the bonus project on Friday, using the supplies I provided in my craft along, which is all of this and these gems right here, these sparkling sequins. So let's get started with 2 cards for tonight. These are the cards we are making, and again I'm going to walk through all of the cutting. So why don't we start with the cutting tonight? Let me grab my trimmer. We need our white pieces of paper, so let me get some basic white out and I will cut that with you. Let me grab a sheet of that out. And to remind myself what my measurement is, let me just do this. I think it's 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. It is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. So let's go ahead and get 2 of those. I'm gonna go 5 1/4 this way, and then 3 1/4, 3 1/4, and that is just small. You can only get like 2 of these out of a sheet, unless there's a better way to cut it, and I'm just not doing it that way. Okay, okay, Lynn, you just had, oh, here it is. I moved the card out of my way and I couldn't figure out what I did with it. Okay, so now we have the basic white. I'll set those aside. Let's go into our pack of Designer Series paper and let's pull out all of our elements that we're going to need. I'm going to carefully bring mine in because they're all falling apart here. Okay. Oh, we will need to cut these too, so we'll go back to that. Let's find these 2 little sprigs. That is this one and this one over here. Gosh, there goes another thing falling out. Kind of have to start putting those in a little baggie. I have a little present down here. That is this one. Oh, there goes that piece. By the time we get to Friday, we're going to have nothing left on these sheets. Okay, I think that's all we need. We'll cut, like I said, this piece right here, and we'll cut this. So I've got those 3. Let's move over here. We just need 2 candy canes. So here is that candy cane and this candy cane. Oh, I'm losing a bell. Or an ornament, I should say. Okay. There are the 2 candy canes we need. Okay, now in your pack of paper, you're going to find a sheet that looks like this. And we're going to cut apart all 6 of these little panels here. So let me kind of give myself some space for my trimmer here. And again, I am not going to measure this. I'm going to line up this separation of images in the center of my track. It might be 2 inches, it might be slightly off. I'm just not going to measure. I find that if I don't, I get a better, I cut it really the right way down the center of those images. Okay, now we're going to cut, hopefully you can see what I'm doing there. Let me move it up just a little bit. All right, we're going to cut this one. We do need the candy cane. And the other one we want is the tree. Okay, let's cut these while we're here. Let's just cut them all because we're going to use them later this week anyway. And the tree. Okay, there we go. Whoops, as I dropped a piece. And we'll find it later. Oh, no, I didn't. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to set those aside. Now, I did provide, or I did cut a basic white border around these 2 images. And it's a very small border. It's like an 1/8. So the size of these are 2 by 3. And if I remember correctly, some of them were not the same size. Yep, they're 2 by 3. So that means I'm going to go 2 tick marks over from the 2. You can call it 1 and, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 7, 7/8. I'm just going to go to the 2 and I'm going to go down 2 tick marks, which is 1 and 7/8. Is that right? No, I need to go larger than that. See, I almost messed up. If this is 2, I want to go slightly larger. So I want 2 and 1/8. So you're going to want 2 and 1/8, and we are going to need 2 of these. So while I'm here, let me just grab, I should use this one. Let's just use this one. 2 and 1/8. That's what happens when you try cutting after you just spent all day at work. Brain doesn't work. And then I think I said that was 3 inches. So we want 3 and 1/8, and we want 2 pieces of those. So 2 and 1/8 by 3 and 1/8. And we're gonna need more of these for the rest of the week. So I'm just gonna sit here and cut another one right here and throw that little scrap to the side. But here are the 2 I'm gonna need tonight. And the other piece we're gonna need, this piece right here. Now you remember this piece we used on a card, I believe on night 1. The back side is that. So I'm going to cut apart this side, save that for a card, and I'm going to use this side. And it is the right height, might be slightly larger. And I think I did that at one inch. Let's just double check. Again, it doesn't matter. It's slightly smaller than an inch. It's 7/8. So how I do that, go to the 1, move in 2 tick marks. I think the 1 inch was a little too big. And I think, yeah, that's why I did it. I just took the piece and cut it in half so I could use another strip. Maybe for the inside. Okay, that is all of our cutting. Let me get this out of our way and that out of our way. Okay, put our cards back in order here. And you'll see how these just nicely fit on these frames. Okay. I kind of swapped the cards I see here. Okay, I think I'm going to start with this tree over here because this is a little easier than this one because of the candy canes hanging on that. So what I'm going to do is well, I have this piece. Let's attach these 2 pieces of DSP to the white bases. And then that's one last thing we have to worry about assembling later. Oops. Okay. Can't see. I gotta lift that up. I'm not at the right angle. There we go. Probably do the same thing with this one. Sometimes it helps me to line it up if I pick it up and I hold it. And I try not to move it when it goes back down. Okay, so that one's ready for this card. Let's bring this white base in. This is going to be slightly taller because I did go a little bit. You'll see again on this card, like I've been mentioning all week, this border around this card for showing the card base is not as thick as this one. So I will need to trim this one down, but I'm going to make it pretty darn simple on myself. I'm just going to put glue on the back side. I mean, you could measure and cut it, but let's just make it easy. Let's glue this down as straight as we can. And then I'm going to take a pair of snips and I'm just going to snip it off. And if I need to put more glue on the back, I will, but it sounds like I got it pretty close. Let's see. Yep, I did. Good enough. Okay, that's the only piece there we're throwing away. Okay, so that is adhered. What I did with these is I just glued them flat. So let's go ahead and do that. Now in your pack of paper, you're gonna have, you know, plenty of sheets, so you can make multiples of each of these cards. You can make additional designs with the paper you have. You're going to get a lot of cards out of this because I think there's 6 sheets of each design. I could be off on that, but that's what I think there is. Okay, this I'm going to glue flat because I popped up that sentiment that says Merry Christmas. So I'm going to put this down flat. It's rare that I do white on white, and when I do, I usually pop it up, but that I'm not. Now this present I did glue down flat, but I think I'm going to pop that up with the dimensional this time. And let's go into my ephemera pack that I put in a really smart place that has my little Ziploc of all of them. And you know, who knows where I put that? Let me... Oh dear, Lynn. You think you stay organized and you just don't. All right, well, while I'm over here, I know I'm going to need some card bases, so let's grab those. I need a green one and a beige one because I find those, so let's just grab those now. There's my beige one. I'm hoping by lifting those envelopes, I'm going to find my little Ziploc bag of sentiments, but I am not finding them. Okay, let me go through this and look. Let's see what we got under here. I've got paper, paper. Oh, little sentiments, where are you? You're not there. Nothing like being live on well, semi-live and not being able to find something you need. Okay, let me check right here real quick. Should have looked for that before I started this video. Sorry about that. I mean, how do you lose a Ziploc baggie of sentiments? That is so odd. And I'm not going to open another one. Okay, well, we might have to move forward without that because I'm sure they will show up any minute. Any minute, I say. Who knows? Okay, well, we're going to move forward without the sentiment because I don't know where that is right now. Hopefully I'll find it. Okay, so let's get a dimensional. Oops, let me cap that real quick. I'm not sure if a large one will fit on that. Yep, it sure will, just barely. All right, so let's put that. That kind of went off just a little bit. Let me fix that. Get that a little more centered on there. Okay, there we go. So present down in the corner. We will do this Merry Christmas as soon as I find it. So let's go ahead and take our crumb cake card base. And let's adhere this whole layer down. Ouch. Cut myself at work today and that paper just got it. Okay. All right, there's that layer. Okay, I'm going to keep that card. Well, let's, no, I'm going to wait to put the designs on it, or the sparkling sequins on it, until I do my sentiments. Okay, let's go work on this card really quick. Let's pull this one in. Look, here's my linen thread. That's good. Okay. Let's cut about that much. And let's see if I can remember what I did. I'm going to straighten this out a little bit by just kind of rubbing it along the edge of my table. And we're going to need some, let's see, I think I'm going to use tear and tape. Let me reach over here and grab it. I don't know why it's way over here. Okay. I'm going to take a little piece of tear and tape, and I'm going to tape the, let me move this up a little bit. I'm going to tape this linen thread right behind it so it holds in place right there. And then what I want to do is I'm going to use a glue dot because I do want that to kind of sit in the center. Let me get my take your pick tool. And let's see, I'm going to kind of use this as a guide. I think I want that kind of centered. I want it about right there. Okay. And so that string is going to go right into that glue dot. And I am going to have too much here. I'm going to trim this off. And now I'm going to take one more little piece of tear and tape. Now a glue dot will hold it in the back as well. I don't recommend using glue. If you like to use a tape runner, stamp and seal, that'll work as well. But glue won't really hold linen thread. Okay, and let's tack that down. And then we can shimmy this down a little bit more to kind of give it that look I'm going for of a strand of something. Throw that over there real quick. A strand of something, like it was Christmas lights, but it's really not Christmas lights. Okay. There we go. Now this piece I do want to put on dimensionals. Oh, that's enough. I don't need that one. Okay. And that's going to cover up the glue dot that I just put there. There we go. Now these, I'm going to hang them over, but I'm going to glue them down at the same time. And I was so not centered on that, but that's okay. I don't think I can lift that up. Let's just try. If I can't, not a big deal. I think it's early enough where I might be able to. Okay, that's two. Sometimes I just cannot get things straight to save my life. Okay, success. It's a little ripped, but that's okay. I need it over just slightly. There we go. Now that looks better. I'm notorious, never anything straight. Okay, let's put a little bit of glue behind this candy cane. And I mean just a little bit because you don't want it oozing everywhere. Just some light dots. And we're going to hook it and glue it down. Just like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab the other side. Oops, that was a little bit of a big daub. I don't have my silicone mat, so I'm just going to use my finger. Okay, oh, and my finger on the other side. So same concept. I want to hook it and glue it down. There we go. Super cute. All right, let's bring in our garden green card base. Give that a good crease. Let's put some adhesive on the back of this. And you can put glue over that, or your whatever adhesive you're using, right over that tear and tape. I'm not going to rip it off. I mean, you could rip it off and then it would act as a good adhesive, but I really want it to just stay there. So I'm going to keep that tear and tape. I'm going to use it just like regular tape. Okay, there's that. Now I'm going to look one more time in hopes that these things just show up. I mean, I just used them last night when filming. I just can't imagine where they would have gone. It's so odd. Nothing is on the ground. I don't think I threw them in my trash. I was so careful when I cleaned up last night. Ugh. I'm so bummed. How could I do that? How could I do that? And there's a whole pack of them sitting somewhere. Okay, they're not here. They're not here. They're... Aha, look at that. There they... I found them. They were underneath the samples I pulled out. Oh, you know, I'd lose my brain if it wasn't attached. Okay, let's look for Merry Christmas. Let's just dump these out. And then Merry and Bright. I've got this Merry Christmas. Merry and Bright is pretty small. And again, it does not have to be the same thing I did. I just like that size. Here's a oh, here's a Merry Christmas. Okay, there's that one. And Merry and Bright. Merry and Bright. So many little pieces. Here we go. Merry and Bright. I'm going to throw these to the side. Okay, Merry and Bright. Let's come back to this card. I did not pop that up. So I'm just going to take the back off. Oops, that did not work very well. Let's try that again. All right, this one's being, oh, I did get it off. Look at me. Let me come over here so I can see better. Okay, Merry and Bright I put right above the green there. And Merry Christmas I did pop up, and we're going to use some dimensionals for that. I'm not even going to try to find, okay, there. I'm not even going to try to find those, but I did. So see, I'm not going to take the sticker off of this one because I did want it to pop up. Oops. And this one I didn't leave much room, so I'm going to cover part of my DSP with that. I should have brought this down a little bit more so I had more spacing up here, but that's okay. Nobody's going to know. All right, let's pull out our fun gems and take your pick tool. So let's come back to this card. I'm going to use gold at the bottom. I'm using the small, or sorry, the large and the medium. And then I'm going to use a red one right there. And I think I'm going to use a small red one. Just kind of eyeing what I've got left on this pack. Okay, so there's that card. Coming back to this one over here. I want to put a large gold one. Let's go right here. And it's going to look different because my spacing is different here. So let's put one right here. And let's just put a little red one right there. And there it goes flying. There we go. Those two are done. I think we should look through our sentiments and see what we want to put on the inside. So let me move these cards out of the way. Let's see what we got. We have Merry and Bright. I see, I already said I'm not using those. Season's Greetings, Happy Christmas. It's not from our house, so I'm not using that. Here's another From Our House to Yours. What do I want to use? Let's see what options I've got going on here. Okay, so Merry Christmas. How about 'Tis the Season for the inside of this one? Okay, there's that one. And for Merry and Bright, I'm going to say Merry Christmas. Okay. Let's stick that one right in there. There we go. Cards. What am I on? 5 and 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, these are cards 5 and 6. The cards we made last night were these two. And the card, wow, they're each going in the same way. The cards we made on the first night were these two. I hope you enjoyed those. We've got 2 more days to go. I do still have 2 kits available as of today. Oh, wait, I can't say that because this will post on Wednesday. Check with me. Go ahead and send me an email or message me either through Facebook, and I can let you know if there's any kits left if you are interested in that. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.